Join in here 1 second. All right, awesome. Good. All right, well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. So, not really turnaround Tuesday, but it was definitely an interesting day.
Right, awesome.
Hey, so a little bit of chop here before we go into the Fed tomorrow, but pretty amazing stuff today. A lot of action there, GameStop, things like that. So, speaking of volatility, we'll get into that again a little more this week. Today, we're going to be continuing in the series on day trading volatility. Today, we're going to talk about two volatility instruments. We're going to talk about the VXX versus the VX. So the VIX futures. Okay, so we'll take a look at that here in a little bit. But before we get started, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off in the market here today, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what we're up to or down to here this evening. And then we'll take a look at the topic, and then we'll go through questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so SPX ended up down about 5 points today, but still bullish here on the monthly chart. Still green, still over the upper Bollinger Band. Weekly chart looking kind of interesting, right? So we did push the fresh all-time highs right here. Kind of came down a little bit red here, but we got 3 trading days left in the week here. We got Fed day tomorrow, so we'll see what Mr. Powell has to say going into that. We've also got big earnings coming up this week, right? We've got Apple coming up tomorrow, Tesla, right? We got Boeing tomorrow morning, so it should be pretty interesting here. S&P futures again on our wave count, right? We kind of zoom in right here. We can kind of see. Let's kind of really zoom in here for you, so you can see this crazy wave count. This wave count that we got right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 5, very likely right here. And then this very well could be a subwave 4 pullback from this 1, 2. If that was wave 5 of 3, wave 4 right here. We could be working on a fresh, larger wave 5 of subwave 3, continuing to work its way up. So we're back over the 80 MA. We filled the gap yesterday. Kind of pulled back a little bit here today, but really not too major considering the low volume that we experienced on the SPY today. Let's take a look at the intraday price action. Again, it was pretty responsive trading today. Basically, just some choppy action here. A little bit below the 15 orb low for a good part of the day. It gave a couple of good short opportunities. A little bit of a rally here back to the 15 orb high, and then a drop at the close. So just but very well range bound today, other than the upper shadow at the open. So that's kind of what we were contending with. Let's take a look at the S&P futures here, and you can see the levels that we provide to our members in the bubble report, and we also provide these screens with the levels built into them in Thinkorswim to our elite access members. So good stuff there, right? So we hit an overnight high, right, heading into the open, then we pushed above it really quickly, and things were looking bullish generally until we got the upper shadow off of that, and then we're like, this thing might try to pull back a little bit, right? So it held our signal zones for a while, kind of pushed down, but could not get to the point of control from yesterday, and then just kind of chopped around those levels, got to the top of the signal zone a couple times, right, until it finally kind of pushed down there at the end of the day, and then they bought it up after hours, right, and now we're just kind of chopping around here. So let's keep an eye on this and see how this triangle looks here going into tomorrow. I don't expect too much craziness after hours right here. We do have Fed day tomorrow, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of chop. We are up about 5 points here this evening. So let's see if they do decide to get above the upper trend line here, to the part of the upper part of the triangle right here tonight, and then if they kind of push into the Fed tomorrow, then we'll see what Mr. Powell's got to say there. So good stuff there. So let's take a look at the topic. And so this week again, we're talking about day trading volatility, and we're going to talk about the VXX versus the VIX. So yesterday we talked about the VIX itself. I'm sorry, about the VIX futures. Yesterday we talked about the VIX itself, right, and how it measures volatility using the out-of-the-money options on the SPX, right? So the VXX is very similar to the SPY when you do the SPY versus the SPX. The VXX is an ETF of the VIX. So very cool stuff there. So it's basically a tradable instrument, very similar to the SPY, and a little bit different. Let's take a look at the VIX right here, a little bit different, but sometimes similar. One of the major complaints that are out there on this one is it doesn't follow it exactly. But what I do like about the VXX is that it gives us volume. Right, so the one thing that the VIX does not give is volume, right? It just kind of shows, it's just a measurement, right, of the volatility. Just like the SPX, right, doesn't give us volume, right? It's just showing us the index, right, the S&P 500. So the VIX does not give us volume, but it does measure the volatility based on the SPX options, right? So the VXX is essentially an ETF based on the price action of the VIX, right? And a lot of times it is also based on it's actually based on the futures, right? So it's actually based on the VIX futures. So which is kind of interesting too. So let's take a look at the VIX futures. So that's typically written here in TOS is /VX. A lot of times in Twitter we put VXF_F, so you know that we're talking about futures. So the futures also have options because the futures are very similar to the S&P futures, right? So they have options. They have volume as well, right? So, but they're not the same, right? They're different instruments, right? Which is kind of interesting. So, what are the VIX futures? So, the VIX futures are a tradable instrument based on what traders think the VIX is going to be, which is kind of interesting. So they're very, very similar, very much related to the VIX itself. But again, just like the S&P futures, it's not the SPX, right? It's a tradable instrument and can move independently, but they often move in tandem, right? They are different instruments. So the VXX is actually based on the VIX, which is why the VXX, still trades after hours, right? And the VIX itself is this no movement after hours, right? So that's why we can still get VIX movement because it's based on the VIX futures, right? So you do get a little discrepancy between those. But I like the VXX because it's easy to trade. You can trade options on it. We'll talk a little bit more about this week, but it is a cool instrument. It also gives us a lot of information, right, with the volume, right? It helps give us clues a little more in depth than what we would normally see just on the VIX itself. So really, really cool stuff. So you've got the VXX, which is an ETF based on the VIX futures, and then you have the VIX futures, which are a tradable instrument that are based on what traders think the volatility is going to be. Right, so very, very cool stuff, and very interesting, right? How these things move, but a lot of times they move very, very similarly, and oftentimes you don't see too much discrepancies. But when you do, right, that can also lead to some interesting clues, right? So sometimes one can lead the other, sometimes it can be the opposite, but you definitely want to take notice, right? If that's the case. So, but usually they move pretty much in tandem. So good stuff. So those are those two instruments there. One of the things that we're going to look at tomorrow is we're going to look at two other VIX instruments, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about volatility this week and how they work in individual stocks and how we can use those to trade, and also probably talk a little bit about trading the VIX itself. So good stuff. All right. So at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, please feel free to plug those in the chat window, and we'll get through as many as we can and try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all get a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So Shirley sent a few in here via email. So again, Shirley, hope you're doing great out there. Let's take a look and see what we got. So BLNK, epic day today, guys. So yesterday was kind of an important day, right? So yesterday, President came out and said, hey, we want all our government vehicles to be electric vehicles, right? Okay, so, I mean, chances are we're probably not going to buy Neos, right? So you got Tesla, right? And so you got names like Workhorse, things like that, which I know you asked about here, but you got to find some way to charge those vehicles, and so Blink Charging moved in sympathy with those today, and it gave a really, really nice inside day up, and it held the ADMA for the majority of the day. So let's see if that gets any momentum follow through to the upside tomorrow. Again, a good breakout candle right here. Again, typically we don't like to trade breakout candles. We did have some big volume on that, so we'll see if it gets any upside follow through going into tomorrow. So good stuff there, and of course, Workhorse. This is one of our favorite ones at the close yesterday. We liked it because this was like kind of like a company that actually makes stuff. Like Nikola was a good trader today, good spreads, but Workhorse was good for the gap and go today for a good push. We mentioned it in the bubble report this morning, so nice stuff there. Let's see if that gets any follow to the upside. It looks like it's up a little bit after hours as well. So Microsoft, Mr. Softy, a big beat on earnings on this one. Pretty incredible stuff, right? Fresh highs on this one and a big push after hours, right? So let's see how it holds these levels, see if we can get above the after hours high tomorrow for a gap and go. So definitely one to keep an eye on the radar tomorrow. SPCE had a very strong day today. Again, another nice breakout here. Again, kind of like a doji sandwich up after yesterday's move, right? And generally held the ADMA for the majority of the day today before just kind of, blah at the end of the day, and then it's kind of drifting up after hours again. So see if that gets any strength. So good stuff out there. Oh, and one more show. Let's take a look. We got J&J. So again, this one, again, big gap up this morning, big upper shadow. I think they're going to come out with some results or some trial results or something like that. So let's take a look. So good stuff there. Let's see how it goes off of that. But watch your upper shadow going into tomorrow. So good stuff. So Michael, AMC, let's take a look. I know, epic, right? So again, these names, I'm telling you, $4 doubled here after hours. Look at that. Again, all these names, crazy stuff. I would expect to see some offerings come out of these names a little bit. GME, I know, exactly. Definitely needs a Netflix series. Guys, this thing's up at $200 after hours. This thing doubled here basically after hours today. Incredible stuff. Elon Musk came out and he tweeted something like, got game stonk or something like that. And that once he tweeted that, I'd say these algos just ate it up. So a big push there. Really, really incredible stuff. I know it definitely needs a series on this one. Really, really crazy stuff right here. And then ACI, yeah, Albertsons. There's your big grocery store move on that one. Pretty crazy stuff there too. Kroger was pretty strong today as well. But good stuff. 2020 says, oh, what's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at AESE. Whew, another big push on that one here. Yeah, so big penny name, big push on that penny name there. Allied Esports, nice find on that one. Yeah, so again, the gamble names looking pretty interesting. Esport names strong, right? As a lot, there was upgrades on a lot of the casinos today. DKNG had an upgrade today, and there goes Walmart too with a nice little push to the upside today as well. Right at the 50-day moving average. So see how that goes. And then Vroom Vroom. We talked about this one, right? So it was looking pretty strong. First strong day yesterday, right? And got a little bit of follow through today. It looks like it's getting a little bit of action after hours on it. So some nice stuff there on Vroom. Let's see if that can continue to work. So like I said, this looked like kind of a wave 1, maybe A, B, C wave 2, and could be starting a fresh impulsive wave up. So nice stuff there on Vroom. And then SLGG, let's take a look. SLGG, Super League Gaming, I love it. So inside day today on this one as well. So just kind of this one here, just kind of keep an eye on the geometric levels. Again, a little penny name, but see if we can break out above those levels there. So good stuff. Roy, what's going on? Good to see you. Fubo! I know. Awesome, Fubo. So, guys, we like this one going into the close today. So it filled your gap, right, a couple days ago, 2 days ago. Today kind of hung out there, but have kept a lower shadow, right, off of those levels. So we like this going into the close today. And it's up nicely here after hours. Let's see if we can get a nice, let's see if we can gap up here. Let's even get to this gap here. So nice stuff there on Fubo. Love it. Good stuff. Mark, what's going on? Yeah, let's take a look at Beyond. Yeah, so Beyond, again, gap and drop today. So kind of not surprised to see it. It was gapping up on the PepsiCo news this morning. It was huge gap up this morning, but a big fade here throughout the majority of the day, just kind of chopping there. So keep an eye on Beyond. We might actually put that one on the short radar going into tomorrow. Let me add that there. Give me 1 second. So 1 second here, there. Yeah, I like that Beyond. That could be an interesting one. So keep that on the short radar going into tomorrow. We're gonna go Wednesday. Let's see. So Fubo, we're gonna put that on the bullish radar for tomorrow, and then we'll take a look at that there. And then Beyond looking pretty weak here today. And what else was on the weak radar? Oh, Baidu was looking weak earlier too. Let's take a look at that there. Okay, that's good stuff there. There. Okay, good. All right, so good stuff. So there's Beyond. Nice find on that one too, Mark. Appreciate it. Yeah, Mickey D's. Let's take a look. So Mickey D's with fake meat, real meat. Wow, good push right there. A little bit of an earnings push, pre-earnings push right there. Big geometric line that it's tagging right here. So see if that can break out there as it goes into earnings this week. Again, lots of earnings coming up this week. So it's reporting on Thursday morning. So we'll see how that goes there for Mickey D's. Good stuff. Yeah, earnings Thursday. Thank you. Yeah, good stuff there. I'm Z Wong. What's going on? Good to see you. Let's take a look at Lee. So yeah, Lee with an inside day here today. Again, like I said, most of the U.S.-based electric vehicle names were strong today. We didn't get a lot of strength here off of the Chinese electric vehicle names. It still finished up green and an inside day. So see if we can take that inside day up out of the cloud tomorrow. That could be an interesting one. So good stuff there. And what else? DKNG, Mike, yeah, let's take a look at that one here too. So that got a Goldman Sachs upgrade this morning with a bunch of casinos. Gave a good push at the open, right? So it's definitely got some bullish action here at the open, right? And gave a good move right here and then finally kind of calmed down at that geometric line right here today, right on the daily chart. So I was hoping to see a momentum push above it, but just didn't happen. So, but good stuff there. Let's see how it goes here going into tomorrow. And of course, Aaron, yeah. So GME, huge inside day today. Again, this thing's going to gap up to right now. We're looking at 250. so kind of up in this range right here. Let's see how it goes, guys. A lot of times these crazy stocks, Tilray got to 300, Beyond got to 300 that one time before they started to pull back. So keep an eye on the 300s for GME before it's ready to do its reversal. So pretty epic stuff right there. So BlackBerry with an inside day here too. Again, that's gapping up to about 20. It's up a little bit here after hours to see how it goes, how it handles the inside day today. BBBY again was pretty epic as well. Again, it got a big push off of the ADMA here today, and that is up after hours as well. So see how that goes. See how it handles this upper shadow here. It's up to 43 after hours. This crazy stuff on these names. And then MOO, yeah, they're all going to the moon, it seems like. So MOON, the Moonshot Innovation, I love it. So that one's ticking up here after hours as well. So again, very, very bullish. So good stuff there. Wenji, what's going on? Good to see ya. Yeah, Roku. Yeah, so Roku was pretty epic here today. You got in today. Yeah, so one of the things with Roku, right? Earnings is not for a while. Right, so and it was a little bit rough here. We had the dark cloud cover day right here. It came up and retested that area one more time, and then today was kind of like a follow through the downside here. I'd be a little bit careful with it as we're under the ADMA, so just a little bit of caution on that, right? So I'd like to see you get back above the ADMA and be strong. I like to go when things are over the ADMA, right, and over our trend lines. I like that when we're starting to break down here. Right, today's kind of like a breakdown day, right? Just kind of keep an eye on here. It does have decreased volume from yesterday, but looking a little bit blah. But that decreased volume that could be good if it can get back over the ADMA tomorrow. So let's see how it goes there. So good stuff there. I know an AMC is epic, right? So good stuff there. Krishna, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at PLTR. Yeah, so PLTR, I actually like this going into tomorrow. I like the inside day. I want to see if we can break the inside day up. It's down a little bit after hours. They had their demo day today, which I heard went really, really well. So it kind of flushed off of that, kind of a sell the news type thing, but then they bought it up pretty quickly. So let's just see how it goes going into tomorrow and how it handles the inside day range. But right now, we're basically pre-market, we're at 34.25. Today's low is 34.32. So let's see if we can get back into that range tomorrow and try to push up through it. So let's see how that goes on PLTR tomorrow. Fubo, again, pretty epic, right? So that was another inside day, but it's already pushing up pretty well after hours. So good stuff there. And Mara, again, mostly like kind of a Bitcoin move on this one, right? So you just kind of have to keep an eye on the Bitcoin and see this one's been kind of trailing it pretty nicely. So again, Bitcoin here below the ADMA, right? So Mara as well below the ADMA here today. So just a little bit of caution on that. See how that goes with the Bitcoin. XL, again, big upper shadow right here. It's kind of perking up a little bit after hours. See if you can get over these highs. You got kind of the geometric level right here. So again, a push over today's highs could get it going again. So let's see how that goes. And then IDEX, let's take a look. IDEX, again, not quite dark cloud cover, but still kind of a rough candle on that one. So see how it goes there. Kind of a cheap name, but if it does pull back, see how it handles the ADMA on that one. So good stuff there. So good, Thierry, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you're doing great. Yeah, so NIO, again, like I said, the Chinese electric vehicle names kind of struggling a little bit there today. Didn't get as much limelight as some of the US-based names. Inside day right here, so see how it goes. It's really, really tight range, so let's see if it gives a little bit of a move on that one. VLDR. VLDR with kind of a doji-ish type move, so again, see if it can maybe make a little doji-ish type sandwich up, and we'll see where we go from there. So good stuff. CISO, what's going on? Etsy. So another Elon tweet today. He tweeted this morning. He said, "I like Etsy." Here he is, like late at night buying stuff for his dog. So that got a big push up there pre-market, but it did not get any follow through on that one. So nasty candle at the open right there, and then just kind of drifted down after that on Etsy. So again, good, decent company, right? Profitable, right? They had a good earnings report last time, right? Kind of worked its way up there, but you got a bearish engulfing candle to contend with now today. So good stuff there. Yeah, my pleasure. So the Nest, what's going on? GoGo is the next GME. Whoa, I guess so. So GoGo making a move. Good grief. So this thing's starting to push its way up after hours here pretty epically. So definitely want to keep on the radar going into tomorrow. And then EHTH. So EHTH, eHealth, yeah, so hanging in here again. TDOC's been pretty strong recently. See how it holds this geometric level right here. See if it tries to work its way up to the 200-day on that one. And then MOS, let's take a look. So MOS with a bearish engulfing candle on that one, so a little bit of caution there too. NLS, this has been a nice kind of piton sympathy mover. Inside day here today, let's see if we can kind of push above yesterday's highs and get a little bit farther into that gap there on NLS. OTRK. Yeah, on track. Whoa, big push on that one there. So a nice move, big volume here today. Big breakout candle on this. Very, very nice on that. So let's see if I can get any follow through. Keep it on your breakout radar, right? So may pull back a little bit, then look for some strength a little bit later on and see if it goes. Otherwise, we could see a gap and go or look for a pause day. So good stuff there. Editas, okay, so this one is kind of still working its way down here. It lost the bow and arrow support today. So see if it works its way down to the 50-day moving average. And Netflix, let's take a look at the Netflix here. Inside day here, still above the 80 defending its gap. Down a little bit after hours to kind of see how it holds there. Michael, the Hoff. The Hoff. Let's see, Hoff V. So Hall of Fame Entertainment. Nice. Yeah, so that's pushing its way up pretty nicely right here. It's doubled over the last couple days, so last couple weeks. So let's see if that can continue to get some upside in that one. Bob, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, let's take a look at GP. So GP with an inside day. Again, let's see if it can push above these levels right here, and if it decides to work its way up a little bit farther there. And Laser! How's Laser doing right here? It's good, right? So it started off with that triangle breakout with a nice push, and then gave us an inside day today. So let's definitely keep Laser on the radar and see if it's ready to break out of that inside day range. So good stuff there. And then Yalla. So let's take a look at Yalla. Yeah, so again, that was a good push here off yesterday's candle. Kind of came back in the range a little bit, still pushing green. So nice stuff there. Yeah, my pleasure, Bob. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Jeffrey, what's going on? Let's take a look at TTD. Yeah, so TTD with an inside day today. Kind of see how it holds these levels. Again, we had a couple of different Fibonacci's that we're working with here recently, but at this point now, right, so from the highs to the lows, this could be like an impulsive move down, sort of ABC up. Watch for a potential zigzag move down, right? So if this one does break down, right, we may see a symmetrical move down on this one. So here, duplicate drawing, and then here. Right, so that's something to keep an eye right here. That would fill the gap, and that would actually get us pretty close to this gap right here. So that would probably be my ultimate target if this thing is trying to work its way down there. Right, so impulsive waves up, right, zigzag down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down. So let's see how that goes on TTD. Mike, thanks, man. So let's take a look. So what else we got? So then as you got Trit. Let's take a look at this one right here. So Trit with an inside day, kind of chopping down there a little bit. ONDS. Let's take a look. ONDS, yeah, looking like a bull flag right here. So let's just kind of keep an eye on that one, see if it gives us a breakout right here. It's down a little bit after hours, after that upper shadow. We kind of see how it holds right there, see if it's kind of working on a bull flag there for you. So good stuff. Yeah, that's my pleasure. Good stuff. Jeffrey, yeah, my pleasure. So good stuff, guys. So this has been a fun week so far. We've been talking about volatility. I think it's been really appropriate, right, as we've been seeing these crazy names like GameStop and things like that. There's a lot of volatility. We're going to talk a little bit more. We're talking about a couple more VIX products this week, and then we're going to talk more about how volatility affects the options, probably to finish up on Thursday, and how to kind of use that to our advantage. So good stuff there. So Bob, so do you find the market functions normally until about an hour before the February meeting? It seems like a pattern. I don't know. I haven't really explored that. I mean, I don't know how normal all this is, right? This whole massive run up, but yeah. I mean, usually, a lot of times, the Fed has been pretty calm the last couple months. When Powell first got in, right, things were really wild after he started, making announcements, things like that. But one of the things you can see, if you get a strong close after the Fed, a lot of times you do see follow through in that direction. So if you have a strong green day, after that, and a lot of volume after the Fed, a lot of times you get upside follow through. If you have a strong red move after, a lot of times you get downside follow through. So you get that going on as well. So good stuff. Thanks, Michael. I really appreciate it. Well, guys, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thanks for all the awesome chart requests. If you're new here, definitely subscribe on YouTube. We're always doing new educational videos, and we've got videos intraday as well. So be sure to subscribe and hit the notification button. And whether you're new here or not, we always appreciate it when you hit the like button. It goes a long way, even if you're watching the recording. And really appreciate it, guys. So we'll see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning in the bubble report, and also in the streams in the group. And even if you're not in our group or a bubble report subscriber, we'll still see you guys bright and early in the public Twitter and in the Good Morning Market Prep video on YouTube. So good stuff, guys. Once again, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I hope everybody has an awesome evening, and we'll see you guys in the morning. Until then, stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first and stay safe. See you in the game.